How's it going? Mike D here, MA Biz Secret Society, Martial Arts Business System. Anyway, thanks for taking a second to watch this quick video. I'll be really brief, and I figured that maybe it's a good idea to put the video together for these quick tips on email marketing, because some of the mistakes that are made with email marketing warrant some pretty scary faces, like ooh, ah, yikes. So you can only do that with a video. Anyway, so I'm going to give you some quick tips on how to use email marketing, how to collect email addresses for your prospects and everything like that. But before I do that, I was watching the news this morning, and I want to give a quick thoughts on crisis management. I know a lot of this. I've run after-school programs and summer camps in the past, and man, let me tell you, I've seen some. There's been some scary things that happen. Whenever you're dealing with a lot of kids in one scenario, one situation, there's always a chance that something's gonna, there's gonna be a crisis, and you got to respond to that crisis effectively. So I was watching the news this morning, and I saw that there was a daycare or preschool in Jersey City, I think. They took a trip to Madison Square Garden. I think, don't get the facts. These might not be totally the facts, but these are the basic facts, and this is what you got to pay attention to. And they left the 2-year-old. They got everybody on the bus to go back, and they left the 2-year-old behind. Poor little girl. I mean, my heart was like pounding because I have 2 little girls myself. My heart was pounding when I was listening to this story, watching this story on the news this morning. And they left this 2-year-old behind, and then hours went by. So they actually found her wandering around, and they brought her to security or whatever, and they obviously figured out who she was and where she was from and why she got left behind. But the daycare went all the way back on the bus. And then hours went by, and they still never contacted the parent. And they got arrested, the owner of this daycare. Now, am I saying you would ever do that? Obviously not. But here's the thing. I mean, these owners of this daycare, they might be great people. They may be running a great business. But sometimes what happens is, in a crisis, we lose our heads. And as martial artists, obviously, we're trained to breathe deep, think ourselves through the crisis. So I thought, man, wow, these people, they may be great people, who knows, they may run a great business, but you know what, they're in trouble now because they didn't respond to this crisis. They didn't call that parent right away and just, fly back and go pick this kid up, very quickly, and notify that parent as to what was going on right away rather than hours later. So I just figured it's something to think about in terms of whenever there's a crisis at your school, how you're going to respond, how you're going to react. It's a big deal. One of my biggest scares, give you a quick war story, is during a summer camp, peanut allergy. Ooh, that was scary. And then when you have, this was a few years back, but you have, a teacher there that's running it for you that you're paying to employ, and the owner's not on site. Ooh, man, that could have been a disaster. And luckily for everybody involved, the child was okay. We were okay, but man, that was really a scare. That was really an eye-opening moment in terms of dealing with crisis and preventing crisis. So anyway, that's quick on that. But anyway, let's get to the email stuff. Email marketing, big deal. Sometimes people kind of shut it off. They say, oh, I get so many emails, I'm not going to do this myself. But you're wrong, because an effective email marketing campaign is really can be good for your school, and it's very easy to collect email addresses. You want to be cognizant of collecting them from your prospects. So if you get a phone call, even if they don't make an appointment to come in for an intro, what you want to do is you want to say, by the way, do you use email? Or in the past, I would say, you online, you on the internet, what's your email address? Or you just be straightforward. You say, and I've tested all three. You say, and your email address? Because one of the ways I actually collect physical addresses, I say, do you live right here in town? What's your address there? So it's the same principle with an email address. You just say, hey, and what is your email address? And if they say why, you say, well, we can get you some informational reports and some further details on our school. This is even if they don't make an appointment with you. If they do make an appointment with you, same thing. You're going through and you're getting their physical information, you're getting their email address, because you know what, they may not show for that appointment. We all know that happens, right? People don't always show for their appointments. So just keep that in mind. That's easy to collect them. You can collect them also on permission slips. You always have a little spot on your permission slip for the email address, and you can get them at birthday parties, you can get them at special events, you can get them when you go out and do things in the community. Just kind of watching the clock there. So you want to collect these email addresses, and you want to have a little thing there that says, I'm not a lawyer, so cross-reference this, but you just ask them permission to be able to follow up with them, and then usually you can send them a confirmation email or something like that, or something of value, and make your emails fun so they want to actually open them. But there's a couple things, like I said, either school owners are not doing this at all, which is a big mistake. There's two kinds of email. There's passive and there's active. Passive is when you have what's called an autoresponder, they're fine, and then active is when you physically actually, do your email marketing once a week or twice a week, whatever the case may be. As long as you make your emails fun and interesting, informative, people will read them, people will appreciate them, and it can be very effective. Now, it's dirt cheap. It's practically free. So can you expect a ton of, a ton of great things? No, but here's the kicker. Because it's free and it's fun, it takes a little minimal effort. When you do see results from it, it's almost magic. I mean, I've sent emails out in the past that resulted in students. I've sent emails out in the past that result in members to the MA Biz Secret Society, of course. So when you see that, it's like, wow, that's pretty cool. I mean, it's fun. It didn't cost a whole lot except for the software program. And here, look, I made a result. So you want to put careful care into how you structure your emails. You need to be frequent with your emails. I see the quote-unquote gurus, that's G-O-O-R-O-O-S, in our industry. They make mistakes with their email marketing too. It's amazing, I'm not going to go into who they are, what mistakes they make, but they really do. So, not everybody does it properly, and you can bet that most businesses in your area, especially most schools in your area, totally screw it up too, okay? So from there, you say, wow, if I just get a little better at this, put some things into action, I can really stand out in my community. I'm not going to go into whole big lessons here on this. I just want to just get you thinking here. All right, email marketing is a big deal. It can be very effective if done properly. It doesn't take a whole lot of geeky stuff, and I'm going to sit at the keyboard. It's very simple. There's formulas for it, and I'd be happy to share some of those formulas with you in the future. And keep this in mind too. Free information is usually worth the paper it's written on, right? If you want some quality stuff, check out the MA Biz Secret Society. $10 to get going now. We're doing a spring special. We got our spring marketing campaign. We got all the tools, all the resources for that. And we're getting ready to do our Karate Kid campaign as well. We're kind of attacking that from a three-prong approach. So we're putting all that material together. A lot of it already has been produced, but everything you need for spring. So mabizsecretsociety.com/spring. You can start that for $10 and check it out. So you got to be careful. There's a lot of free information out there on the web. There's videos, there's stuff like this. You just got some tips on email marketing, but it's only going to take you so far. Get behind the scenes and do something. Get some actually materials that you can actually use in your school, and then put them into action. Because if you're just following too much in all these different directions, nothing's really going to work for you. So if you want a clear action plan, marketing plan, tools, resources, and all the other stuff to go with it, kind of like the whole package, check out the MA Biz Secret Society for $10. So some quick tips on crisis management today. Some quick tips on email marketing. Remember, a lot of people are doing it wrong. A lot of people are not doing it at all. So if you just do it, and then you do it right, imagine how much more effective you can be. Now combine that with your other marketing efforts, and obviously you can't lose. So anyway, feel free to contact me. Again, mabizsecretsociety.com/spring is our spring special for $10. All right, talk to you soon.